bearers, everyone, congratulations. We did it. We made the 10 million tweets happen. Woo!
Yay!
Everybody, thank you for all your hard work. We got the very coveted, long anticipated, never shot bed scene script.
Yes.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Which, if you didn't go to the Twitter space that's happening like right now as we're recording this, it's okay, don't worry. We will reenact it for you. So we'll get to that in a minute. But before we get to whatever that's going to be, we would like to take a moment to thank our supporters that have been supporting the podcast over this past month. As we do every month, we give everybody a shout out who's been financially supporting us. So big thanks to Kaitlynn, who's financing us on Anchor. Thank you for your continued support. And a big thank you to all of our patrons or Patreons, however you pronounce them. Supporters. So thank you to Geraldine, Cece, Sandy, Haley, Annie, Frida, Imperia, Lorena, and Sawyer. We love you guys. Thank you so much. It's always fun to talk to you in our Discord channel. You guys are absolutely the best. Thank you. Your support made it possible for us to reenact the Beatrice bed scene script.
Here it comes.
Let's get into it. All right. So, playing the role of Beatrice will be yours truly. Who's our Ava?
I will be playing Ava.
Woo! I have a pillow, I just noticed. Damn it, I don't have a pillow. I'll make it work. And our narrator / omnipotent voice will be...
This is Beatrice, this is Ava, and this is the narrator who is the ghost of Lesbish.
Yes! It's the ghost of Lesbish.
All right.
Here we go.
Let's get into it.
Hold on, I have to get I was practicing over here. I was doing blocking. All right.
Actually, no, I'm supposed to be like this.
Yeah. You're staring, you're awake. Okay. God damn it, Ava.
Sounds about right.
I apologize. Ava is not cooperating.
You cast
Scene
the right
17.
Oh yeah, for those who are listening, we're reenacting this with Dino Nuggets. So check it out on YouTube if you want the visual.
Scene 17. Exterior. Swiss Alps town. Day. Establishing. A modest apartment building in the Swiss town. Scene 18. Interior. Ava's apartment. Daytime. Very student housing vibe in here, and gay. Ava sleeps in a tangle of bed sheets, limbs akimbo, that's a new word, on one side of a double bed. Reveal. On the other side is Beatrice. Staring up into the ceiling, she glances over at the sleeping Ava. She glances over at the sleeping Ava. Sorry, guys. Takes a moment, then...
3, 2, 1.
An alarm goes off. Ava bolts awake.
Well, they're coming.
Beatrice stops the alarm.
What happened?
Time for training.
Beatrice hops out of bed to get coffee and going into the adjacent kitchen. Ava groans, having clearly stayed up too late. She yawns hugely. She takes in their crappy apartment.
Question.
Beatrice continues to prepare breakfast.
Yes.
Isn't the Vatican, worth $1 million?
I have no idea. Why?
It just feels like the church could have rented us a nicer place to live. Why make us work our asses off to pay for this crap hole?
Please don't say so crap hole. Women our age without jobs draw attention. Unwanted attention would interfere with your training.
Bunch of cheapskates, more like.
Ava shrugs. She bounces to her feet, motivated.
Okay. I can feel it. Today's the day.
We'll see about that.
Josh realized that the ghost of Lesbish. Oh, Finn. The ghost of Lesbish did not.
Accent. My bad,
Make
guys.
an appearance.
I have breadcrumbs everywhere.
Fantastic. So we're off to a great start. We hope you enjoyed the reenactment / audio production of the Beatrice bed scene script as done by Big BGE and Dino Nuggets.
I forgot there was an accent.
Me too.
That
totally
would have
forgot.
swayed my thing because I know
forgot.
Bree with her accents.
It's all good. It's all done. You did it. It's funnier.
And with that,
I smell like chicken.
We're going to jump into the episode. So today, the real reason we're here is to talk about episode 205, which I forgot the name of. Mark
1045.
That was so dramatic.
No, it was because in the reaction videos, Bree says that. Well, you say that, and then Bree goes, no. And then it's like 11:21 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then it confuses the shit out of you. So I was just remembering happy
go watch our reaction videos.
Oh, yes, if you haven't seen them. We did all of season 2, and they are on YouTube. All of them right now.
All right, listen, let's just
full
do
length
this.
on Patreon.
That too.
Yeah, go become a patron if you'd like to support us in our Dino Nugget reenactments.
Yes.
My favorite. All right, now I'm gonna not get this thing off topic, and I'll leave it to you two. Bye.
Bye, Kaitlynn. All right, you're leaving us alone just in time to get into some grooming.
Yeah, this is why I'm like, we just need to get this scene over with.
Yeah. Okay, well, listen, this scene is intertwined with another scene that's way better. So the way this episode opens is there's essentially 2 versions of the Ariella Adriel story being told simultaneously, and we're cutting between Adriel trying to groom Lilith and Yasmin explaining this in the erotic pastry van to the OCS members, essentially. So Adriel basically is telling the story of him and Ariella teaming up as where he's painting himself as the hero. He's she was so broken and beautiful, and I saved her, and together we were gonna form a new religion and erase the lies of this world. So he's using all this propaganda type language and framing himself as the good guy to Lilith, who is listening to this, and it's just really gross, especially the part where he's like, I loved her, and it's like, oh, here we go. So he's done this before, basically, and he claims that the fact that he loved Ariella is what made him blind to her inevitable betrayal, not the fact that he was power grabbing. She saw that and was trying to stop it, but whatever. Ugh. So in the van, Yasmin's telling the other version of the story where she's like, well, Ariella saw he was being a fuckface and that he was trying to build this temple, and it was an inverted temple underground, which is important to the whole plot going forward. No one knows why he did that at the time, but he was trying to bring his version of the truth to the world. And Ariella was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna pray about this. And while she's praying, God sends her a mysterious hottie that gives her the crown of thorns. And the part I find hilarious about this is when she's staring at who we all know now is Rhea, and Rhea disappears. Ariel looks surprisingly wait, where'd she go? Which, relatable. Where did she go?
Where'd she go?
Where? I didn't even get her name.
That bitch just disappeared.
She just disappeared. Woman of my dreams. She gone now. And I find this also interesting. Not only was that funny in my brain, but I also found this interesting that from the get-go, Rhea was really influencing the first ever warrior nun, which I found interesting. And instead of I always wonder, like, in that moment, why didn't she just try to take the halo? Because, like, her whole thing is she's trying to get the halo back. Why didn't she just take it? Instead, she's like, here's something else from the other realm. Like, she clearly could transport stuff with her. I never quite understood that unless she's, like, having fun with this game. I don't know. It was weird.
It's a good question, but I think it all would have been explained.
I know. I know. A lot of my questions for this episode are like ponderings or just like in future seasons. I feel like we would have gotten into this, which we were
Simon,
denied. I know.
Simon, what was going to happen?
I'd love to know. Because like she just seems to be using a lot of these like OCS members, warrior nuns, versus like she never tries to actually take the halo from them. She just tries to
Right,
use them.
exactly.
So it's very
It's
interesting. And
intriguing.
it's intriguing, and the fact that like in this encounter too, like Ariel never finds out who she is, so she's been interfering this whole time, and the OCS had no idea that Rhea has been playing them too, really. So
Yeah.
it's like another one of those like all powerful beings using them as pawns, and they have no idea they're pawns, and yeah,
Right.
yeah. I wish we had more seasons to really like explore.
We needed that.
You know,
I like the way they shot this and
Ooh, yes.
had the juxtaposition of the different stories that took you back and forth, just because it was just such a neat little thing to get you both sides of this story in an interesting way. And I really, as much as I don't like seeing
I know.
that
The
the groomer, I loved that whole playing with that. But,
yeah, I think it's another. It's like two sides of the same story kind of deal,
mm-hmm.
but also it's back to like what they talked about in season 1. I think we talked about this when we did our season 1 discussion about Warrior Nun, where a lot of like what Adriel tells versus like what is known by other people. It's a way to comment on kind of like how the truth gets distorted over time.
Exactly.
And like his truth is that I was the good guy doing all this stuff, but like the truth that Yasmin's order that's been passing the story down for generations is like, no. Ariella saw he was dangerous, and that's why she interfered. It wasn't, so it goes to show you perspective matters and like who's the good guy of the story, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It shows you all of the shades of gray instead of just
you're just binary, good, evil, black, white, that kind of like thinking when it comes to morality or events or whatever.
And y'all know that that's something we love when people explore.
Love. And I do love the way they play with that, like legend versus reality versus truth.
Religion versus science versus what actually is religion.
Yeah. This show really plays with that very nicely. And stuff like this is fun because it's like juxtaposing it side by side, like you see it all play out together. So it's very, very fun. But
yeah, it's fun. And then no, you go ahead. I'm good. Like,
okay. Back to the story. So the hottie from the other realm was really bringing Ariella the crown of thorns, and the point of that is to imprison Adriel. And Yasmin's kind of telling like the full truth of her order and all the stuff to Ava, the warrior nun, and everybody. And according to Adriel, though, the halo corrupted Ariella after she met Rhea suddenly, and describes the halo as a weapon too powerful for any human to bear for too long. And although he's the worst ever, I think there's a truth to this line that he delivers, because when we hear about Shannon, like in season 1, we came in at the tail end of Shannon, and there seems to be this consensus that she was getting paranoid towards the end. And it seems like Ariella did too, in a way, like she was kind of getting paranoid towards the end of her reign as the warrior nun. And so I'm wondering what you think of the sentiment that like the halo corrupts humans.
I think that it seems like something that would very much fit in with the story, and that it would be a good plot point for Ava to, because we know she comes back from Rhea's realm, and
Right.
to be like, if she still has the halo, which, I mean,
Yeah,
the only
I
way
mean,
she wouldn't is if Rhea healed her, et cetera, et cetera. So, can you bring somebody back from the dead that's been brought back from? Never mind. We'll
well,
get into
also,
that
like,
at some other point.
she has to have the halo because the sword glows, and the halo is the
You're
only thing that
right.
makes
You're
it
right.
glow. She has to still have it.
I do not know why I even said that. Anyway, so Ava's back. If she were, that would be a good plot point in a season 3, I think. Now, my other thing was it could also just be propaganda that fuckhead is throwing out there. So I want to be on the side of it's propaganda, because I like having Ava as possessing the halo, and I would really like to see her in more, if we had more seasons, actually figure out ways to control it more and harness it, and then like grow all of that's just my selfish desire, but I
Totally.
think that it corrupting would make more sense in a writing perspective.
I also wonder too, because there's obviously a big thing. So there's more to this Halo than we actually know, because that's the truth of everything in Warrior Nun. Like, Simon and the writers are purposely giving us sprinkling information without revealing the whole everything. Like, we're getting like a granular view versus the 30,000-foot view of what's actually happening. And I think the Halo is part of that too. We see pieces of it up close, but we don't see the whole thing of like what this actually is. We still don't know what it really is.
Exactly.
We just know that two powerful people or creatures or whatever trying to get it, and it's been hidden inside these women for like a hot minute, and they keep dying off, the women. And so I wonder if, like, is it the halo that's corrupting them, or is it like Rhea like influencing them? I wonder too, because everything seemed fine and dandy with, based on the story, with Ariella until Rhea interfered, and then he's like, now she's paranoid and stuff. So I'm wondering if it's Rhea's influence, and then he sees it as paranoia because, like, the warrior nuns are seeing another perspective and are like, maybe he's not what he seems. I don't know. Or is, like, the halo itself corrupting? Like, by nature it corrupts, which maybe, maybe that power makes people, it corrupts you via power, I guess, because it is powerful. I don't know. Interesting question. I was like, I feel like that's a real line that he's saying.
The halo is made from the same thing that the Taras demons.
I don't know if it's divinium or if it's like another like unique organic material from the other realm. So it's like foreign material. Could it corrupt a human that's like earth material?
Could it mess with your brain? Is like over time is the question.
Totally. Yeah, exactly. Does it like, is it like a cancer
in a way?
Yeah, exactly.
So that would be really interesting. I do think that Shannon just actually did cotton on to the fact that Not Hot Priest was a douche nozzle, and she had a good reason to be paranoid, and so did Ariella. But I mean, these are women who are thrown into this thing, and people are coming at them from all sides with, you need to do this, you need to do that. And anyway.
Yeah, and that's a really excellent point. That was the other thing I was thinking too, because with Shannon, I don't know if her paranoia was actually the halo itself, or it was the burden of responsibility of being the halo bearer that eroded her mental health. Because you know, Mary saw it. She had this, like, you have this as the halo bearer, they have this unique responsibility that nobody else has, and nobody else can understand what they're going through. So, like, is that isolation making them paranoid? Like, that's what I'm wondering. Is it like the burden of carrying this thing versus the thing itself that's quote unquote corrupting? I don't know. Give us more seasons.
If we had more seasons, we'd know.
We would
Somebody
know.
pick up the show.
Seriously. Kaitlynn, make that into a tune.
There we go.
Thank you. Listen, that sounds like fun.
All right. Anything else with this scene?
Yes, I'm finishing the scene. Either way, it doesn't matter. So, like, the bottom line is that Ariella turns on Adriel and calls him a monster, and labels him a monster, which this is language he's giving to Lilith to, again, get her on his side, because that's what she was called, essentially. And then ultimately, the two of them battle it out, and we all know how that ends. Adriel got the crown of thorns on his head, was in a tomb, and the thing that made Ariella really successful was her sisters, because Ariella had support and numbers and people that believed and care about her versus like the sole entity with power. And I actually really like this story because I think it's a take on, again, like power and like monotheism and like all that stuff.
Mhm.
Whereas like power is often framed as like one person having power above everybody else, and that's like God in the Christian faith. But in this case, that's not what won. What ended up winning was like the sister that believed, and then her sisters that believed in her, and like together they banded and like overtook him. And it goes to show you like support and community can get you super far versus like the one person who has magical powers in this story. So I do really love that. And then we get, while this story is happening, we get gay staring between Ava and Beatrice, which is really important and super
Thumbs
cute.
up.
10 out of 10. Amazingness. There's so much gay staring. It's really cute. Other key parts in this whole story is that Adriel cannot be killed in this realm, which I wonder if that goes both ways, meaning like the beings from the other side of the portal, when they come here, like Adriel did, he can't be killed here because I guess there's no organic material here that can kill him. And I wonder if that's true of like when Lilith, Michael, Ava cross to the other realm, can they not be killed there? And is that why they get healed? Like, I wonder if there's like this weird inverse thing happening with organic material where it's like a reversing of sorts.
Mhm.
Because like every time they go over there when they're like dying, injured, they seem to heal. So I wonder if like the
Right.
damaging process in cells is like reversed and it's regenerative.
Could be.
I was just curious about that. Like, it's almost like a mirror dimension in a way.
Mhm.
And side note, my favorite part of this whole thing is the way Yasmin is passionately telling this story. It's like she's been dying to tell this story her entire life, and she finally gets to like tell it, and she's like acting it out with like, and Ariella stabbed him, and she's like doing all the hand motions, and it's the
It's so
cutest thing.
cute.
It's so fucking cute.
I love it.
Oh, I love it.
Thanks, I love it.
Love it, love it.
Yasmin, you cutie.
Yasmin should have enacted that with chicken nuggets, Kaitlynn, in the comments, but she did not have them.
No,
had her
she
hands.
only had erotic pastries, and I don't think we want to see that.
Could you imagine? And then Adriel.
No.
She's actually, that would have been funny. They probably ate them all. There's nothing left of that van. Let's be real.
That's true. That's true.
Oh my god, where is the hold on, I'm so sorry. Where is the deleted scene where Ava and Beatrice get in the van and they're like, this is the food we have, and somebody gives that to Beatrice? Where was that scene?
Where's the scene of Ava trying? Where's the scene of Ava trying to sword fight Beatrice with the erotic pastries? And Beatrice
Ava
just
trying
not
to convince Beatrice to
Yeah.
eat the pastry because they haven't eaten anything in like 3 days.
Just eat it,
Where's
Beatrice. I think we need to write it.
Beatrice, you know, she's doing sign of the cross like 500 times.
We just need to. We need to write it and act it out ourselves.
Can our next 10 million tweet demand be the Avatrice erotic pastry van scene?
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Somebody organize that.
Let's do it.
Yes.
So after that, we get the gang arriving at Jillian's. That erotic pastry van's just rolling on up to the big fancy house.
Not suspicious at all.
Not at all.
Not weird at all.
That happens to me every day.
I know.
Anyway,
I'm so tired of it.
So they drive up, get out of the van, and they approach the gates and like buzz in, and they're like, hey, what's up, Jillian? We could use your help. And Jillian's like, hell no. I can't help you. Like, no. And then Lilith's gone. Lilith's not here, everybody. Whatever, get out.
Oh, I love that now they're like, where's Lilith? Like, it's been
now
5
they're like,
episodes,
"Where's
and now we're
Lilith?"
suddenly worried about Lilith. Like, Lilith has every right to be like, fuck you guys, and go somewhere else. Jesus
Preferably not
Christ.
with groomers.
Oh, God.
So, here's the big reveal. Michael is like, Miguel is like, tell her son's here. I'm like, you fucking dramatic little bitch.
Why were we not opening? Because I don't understand why we didn't open with that, because it was his idea to go here.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the one who's
why
like,
is he not
I know a
at
place.
Why
is he?
Okay, when they're
Yes!
like, when he's like, they're like, where are we going? And he's like, my home. Why aren't they asking these questions?
Why is he not leading this? Exactly. Jesus. No brain cell.
As soon as he says that, the freaking doors open magically. Like Jillian's
all
like,
the security systems turned off,
out.
Everything. She's like out.
Jillian's like Flash Gordon. Pew!
I know. God damn it. Faster than Lilith can evaporate into places.
Apparently,
she's there.
She rushes out and she goes up to Miguel because, he's Michael and none of us are surprised.
Oh my God. It's almost like the names meant the same thing or something.
Exactly. She's like, first she can't really believe it and she's just like staring at him and being like,
is this
what?
real? Is it not real? Who's this
and
adult?
And then he's like, hello, mother.
Mother. Why are all the lines so creepy?
And then they embrace and it's like, okay, cool. She's got her son back.
You know what is cool though? When that happens, we get the lovely Jillian and Michael score that Tangeline composed. And it's very heartfelt and like fragile sounding to me.
I love all of her
heartbreak
score for this season.
Yes, go.
We love you, Tangeline.
We love you. If you have not heard our interview with Tangeline, go check her out. She was the composer for the music.
She's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And
so yeah,
Kaitlynn doesn't want us to forget Callie the cat.
And Callie the cat, who was instrumental in that score.
Yes.
Okay. I punned. I didn't mean to.
You absolute dork. I love it.
Thank you. So let's follow all these dorks inside Jillian's house. The beautiful music fades and we follow them inside. And Mother Superior cuts the weird silence in this living room, I guess, that they're in. And she's like, so where the F is Lilith? Because we thought she was with you and she's not with you. And we're suddenly interested in where she is. And Jillian's like, listen, I don't know. All I know is she's changing physically and mentally, and she's like degrading. So she left me to go find help elsewhere. And then Camilla immediately gets upset by this. She's like, how dare you let her leave? And Jillian's like, the bitch can disappear at will. What did you want me to do? What was I supposed to do? You've met Lilith. Obviously, you can't tell her what to do. Like, come now. Use your brain, girl. And it ends with like Mother Superior getting a phone call at the tail end of this. And she's like, listen, I got to take this phone call. But like, Camilla, behave, girl. What the hell? Rein in the big bitch. What's going on here?
Camilla continuing her sassifying sassiness this
so
episode.
much. She's just like on edge and ready to just fight people. She's just got a chip on her shoulder,
Surprised she didn't point a gun at Jillian.
Right? Her machine gun. Or she like tranquilizes her out of nowhere. I know.
Right?
I know. One thing I will point out during this whole scene, we do get a shot of Bea and Beatrice with their arms crossed at the same time, and it's like peak girlfriend energy. They are on the same page, and they are not pleased, and they are suspicious of all of this, and I'm here for it.
Yes.
More
of them.
More of them.
So that call that Mother Superior got, guess who it was? It was Le Pope. It was Pope on a rope. He's back. The Pope be calling. because he's researching Adriel.
Is he the Pope or is he a mob boss? Because he looks like a mob boss in this scene.
He's the mob. The Pope is the mob boss.
I
Like
know.
I
he
think
super
IRL
is.
as well.
For
It's like-
real.
So he's been researching Adriel, and he's gonna do this whole secret enclave. He's inviting all the people he still trusts, and Mother Superior's gonna be there because she is one of those people that he still trusts.
Yes.
They still have that kind of relationship. And I hate that I have to somewhat like the Pope this season.
Yeah. Regretfully so.
Regretfully, he's not the worst this season, and that's kind of sad because, I mean, the man.
I mean,
Sheesh.
oof.
He's just as bad as a power grabber as every other powerful person in this frickin'.
Oh, absolutely. But tables are turned on him right now because he's
Mhm.
about to lose all his power, and he's finally
Yeah.
like 5 episodes in, accepting the reality that like he can seriously lose power, and his organization has now been infiltrated, and he's like
Mhm.
his confidants are dwindling.
Precisely. So that's that scene.
That's that scene, and
Setting up the enclave.
at the end, if you watch it with the subtitles on, when they're hanging up, it says ominous music. So like that can't be good. Thanks, Tangeline.
Mm-hmm. She do be putting all the feels in here.
She do be a foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Speaking of weird foreshadowing, from there we cut it over to Michael in his childhood room, surrounded by the crayon doodles of the Ark. And he's looking at this like, man, my mom is a hoarder. This shit is still on this wall.
I'm surprised. He should just be happy that she didn't like bronze at all.
Oh my god. No, for real. Like, she has the money and technology to do it. It's creepy. Anyway, Jillian comes in and they have a chat, and he is upset that basically Adriel used him because he spent time with Rhea now, so has Rhea in his brain, and he's upset that Adriel basically used him to create the Ark by implanting the blueprints in his mind. And this is the weirdest and my favorite conversation between the two of them, because after that, Jillian's like, "Yeah, I admit I didn't really like understand any of this. I was just trying to heal you." So you're telling me that a world-renowned scientist was like, I'm gonna try to heal my son by taking the crayon doodles my 8-year-old son has drawn to create the device from his doodles that will heal him. How does that make any fucking sense?
I guess she was that desperate.
Like, does that make sense if you really think about it? That was wild.
It's like
Desperation for sure. Delusion? Was she drunk? Like, what happened that led her to be like, you know what? My son might be a genius. When was she studying the doodles? It's so weird.
I just wonder if somehow she's been handling all this divinium, and Adriel was speaking to Michael because of the divinium. I don't
Totally.
know. There's just had to be some kind of way that he was
Maybe he spoke to her
convincing
too.
enough. Maybe he did. That's the only thing I can figure. But
It just seems really weird.
yes, it does. Kaitlyn's wanted to point out that it's only been a few months and she's mourning her child. So
It's true. But it's
true.
like every child like he's an adult. So like every like adult, my parents do this too. They're like, we still have your doodles from when you were like 3. And it's like, please throw that out. Like, why do you still have that? Like, it just gave me that energy from his point of view.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I just don't like them together. They're just weird to me.
I know. They're weird. They're weird, but you know what? They needed to clear the air. So they do that. And Michael in this scene confirms Kaitlyn's gay math that he was gone for 14 to 15 years on the other side. That was how much time elapsed for him. And the whole time during this conversation, Jillian's just like looking at him in awe. Like, she still can't believe he's right there, and she feels like he's gonna disappear at any second. And then she like projects her insecurity onto him during this conversation, where she's like, wow, you must have been so alone. Because like that's how she felt when he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when we get the who's manipulating Michael now talk, where he admits he wasn't alone and he was working with Rhea essentially, because she seems to have this habit of just like using earthlings as a mean to her, whatever her end goal actually is, which I would really, really love to know what on earth that was and who else Michael was interacting with on the other side too. Because, like, damn, I just want to know what's going on over there. I'm sad.
We didn't get to see any
Yeah,
of that. So,
yeah.
Man. Well,
what happens next?
What we do get to see is Camilla in the hallway being haunted by Adriel in her head.
Yes. Poor thing.
So, I'm really getting tired of Adriel popping up in her head because
I know.
Isn't he in enough scenes that
I know. This is not consensual.
Yes, for anyone involved.
No.
Except for Adriel. She was like just kind of talking to herself out loud, and he interrupts her, which is rude, and starts just chitter-chattering away and telling her that Lilith is with him. Ha ha ha. And I'm like, fucking shut up, Adriel, you jackwagon.
Literally.
So while that's going on in her head, she runs right into Beatrice.
Lurk much, B?
Yeah, Beatrice is...
Literally older. As she does randomly in, mansions.
Yeah, and obviously Camilla is having a moment, and so she's like, what's up? And what's wrong? And she just tells Beatrice, I'm having another headache. And Beatrice, being the little investigator science girl that she is like, so where does it hurt? No, when did this first start happening? When did the headaches start? Which apparently it happened back with the convent attack. Before the attack, if you remember, Camilla had a whole harem.
She sure did.
And apparently that had also been infiltrated by Adriel, because there was one of the older nuns, and you could obviously see in the scene that she touches Camilla on the neck. She touched me. And I was like, creepy. Wait a minute, where did she touch you? And then I remembered where we were. And I was like,
point on the doll, Camilla.
I know. God, let's not bring back Satanic Panic.
The harem betrayed her.
One of them, anyway. I don't know about the others.
I know.
So it's been happening ever since the older sister touched her, which was a really creepy line.
I know.
And she didn't think anything of it at the time. And I'm like, you didn't think anything of it? Camilla!
I love that she's like, I didn't think anything of it, but it's seared into my memory and I remember it.
Yeah.
What?
That's when the headache started.
Yeah,
So she tells Beatrice that she's been hearing voices, and Beatrice is like, we're gonna find out what the hell this is about. Let's go.
Yeah, what the fuck? Let's go to the doctor's office.
Yes, Dr. Beatrice is in.
She is. She'd make a fantastic doctor.
She would, in a lab coat.
All right, moment of gay hydration for Beatrice in a lab coat, please.
Good.
Hydrate for lesbian Jesus, everyone. Because our next scene there's no hydrating in this scene. So in the next scene, we're back to Jillian and Michael again. And Michael is basically telling her more about what it was like on the other side. And for me, I feel like this adds to what the truth of like what Lilith was saying. So it kind of like corroborates her story, basically. And he says, basically, I went over there. I thought it was going to be in heaven because you told me this was a bridge to heaven. And then I jumped in and was like, wow, this is empty, vast nothingness. And I was wandering alone in a desert. Which checks out with Lilith's story, who basically said she was alone under a scorching sun for hours. So this world isn't perfect wherever they end up, bottom line. But unlike Lilith, where she felt like very deeply unwanted and unwelcomed on the other side. Michael said he was found by, quote, wandering angels, plural. So I wonder who those people were and if they interact with Ava. But anyway, the angels, whatever, take him to a shining city, which is Rhea's palace, essentially, and that's where he meets her. And he explains that Rhea is this immensely powerful entity. So he describes her as an entity, not an angel, which I find interesting because Adriel keeps getting compared to an angel, but Rhea seems to be something entirely different in whatever humanoid hierarchy is happening over there. So she's like a big bad, potentially above Adriel, is my take on this. And basically, Rhea took helpless, alone Michael and raised him with purpose for 14, 15 years. And his purpose now is really to defeat Adriel on her behalf. So, which is checks out. That's basically her MO. Like, she keeps like taking people and like redirecting them to like what she wants to accomplish. And her mom, Jillian's listening to this, and she's like, "Okay, but how? Like, she raised you to stop Adriel. How?" And Michael's like, "No, I can't tell you yet because it's a secret for drama reasons. Because the truth would destroy his mother right then and there on the spot." And I feel so bad for her. Jillian, the whole conversation just looks so like just distraught and like it's horrible. Because like here she finally has Michael, and then. But does she? It seems like Rhea's his new mommy now.
Exactly. So
know?
like her son that she fought so hard to save was taken to went to this place and was adopted and sculpted by someone else. So it's like she's lost her son all over again in a way.
Oh, absolutely. And
And
even if he wasn't sculpted, she still lost her son because
exactly.
he's not a kid anymore. She lost 15
Mhm.
years with him. He is an adult now. Like, she did lose her child son. He's gone forever. Like,
Yep.
just imagine going from having like an 8-year-old to a 20-something-year-old. Like, she
Mhm.
lost all those years of raising him, and like it's gone. He is an independent adult now who doesn't need his mommy anymore. And it's like, wow, that's a lot in 2 months to like.
It really is. Like,
So it
how
is
does
like
she
she
even
lost him
process
all over
that?
again. Yeah, exactly. How do you process that? She can't. Like she as she's like has him in the room, hearing all this stuff. You can see it on her face. She
Mhm.
is not is having a hard time digesting this information. It's a lot. It's crazy.
As one would. I mean, damn.
Yeah.
Well, guess we get to see some more of very excited Yasmin
Oh my god,
in
this is
this
like her
next scene.
fangirl episode.
Yes, it is. So they arrive at the hotel where this conclave is going to happen, which is, of course, ritzy ditzy because guess what? The church is worth $1 million bajillion dollars. Ava
Yeah,
was right
Ava.
in the deleted scene.
She sure was. Valid thing to point out, Ava. It
Yeah.
is some bullshit.
So Yasmin is super adorable and historically correct, might I add.
Yes.
But Mother Superior is like, hey, you may not want to talk about any of this. Like, don't talk at all when we get in to this conclave. Just listen to everything that is said and not said. Like sometimes you find out more by just listening to what people don't say. And basically,
Mhm.
like, stop talking so loud in the lobby of this hotel about all of our secrets.
I love when these two are on screen
I
together.
know.
They're comic relief gold. Love them so much.
They really are so good. They play off each other well.
Oh, beautiful.
But I do
But
love
yeah.
that she gives her some advice that's very important, and that is never apologize for your gifts. Just use them wisely, because she did apologize to Mother Superior for being so excited.
Yeah, and
So,
Yasmin definitely has a gift and is super valuable. So I like that Mother
Mhm,
Superior does like takes the time to validate her. That has to mean a lot to
exactly.
Yasmin, you know.
Indeed, because this is like one of the people that would be a hero to her.
Totally. Yeah. I
So,
mean, she's the Mother Superior, and like
mhm,
Yasmin like was like, "Oh, you're the Mother like, you know, she's an
exactly,
idol in Yasmin's mind."
precisely. So they get up to the room where the conclave is going to take place, and it's just a room full of dudes that Yasmin is starstruck by. I'm like, can we get out of this sausage fest?
Oh, yes. Can we get out of this misogynistic room, please? Then the
Yes.
men start talking. It gets worse.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
So the Pope, in his dramatic mob boss fashion, opens the conclave with Matthew chapter 7, verse 15. Be aware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, when inwardly they are nothing but rabbling wolves. And obviously, Adriel's the wolf. So
Obviously.
here we go. He's going to try to be like, hey, everybody, I was wrong. We actually do need to like do something about this Adriel dude. Oopsie doopsie.
Whoops. I'm 5 episodes too late.
Yep. I am like my actual people on the ground have been telling me for how long now that this dude is for serious a threat. Oh, I'm a man and I thought I was always right, as Kaitlynn points out. Guess what? You're not. You were stupid.
I really dropped the holy grail on this.
No. Silliness.
Mm-hmm. But,
Okay.
I mean, at least he got to the point where he's like, all right, let's weed out those dissenters now.
Mhm.
And smartly, he does have, like, Mother Superior in there. Because, like, really the OCS is all he can trust at this point. Because they've kind of been, they're a secret order within this order. So, like, they've kind of been kept out of all of this, like, nonsense. So, they kind of are the objective third party. So, having them there was really a smart move, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we leave that scene and go to a Lilith and Adriel scene. So we promise there's good moments in this episode that aren't these guys. But basically, Adriel is explaining to her what it was like to be underground for 1,000 years. And he's like, listen, I'm immortal. So like time works differently for me than it does for you. For you, 1,000 years is beyond your comprehension. For me, it was like a blink in the eye. And I'm super, super patient. So like there's that. So Lilith asks, like, okay, that's cool, but like, back to me, because I'm here to find answers, really. So, what on earth is happening to me? Who the fuck am I? You've been just monologuing about you. Can we get back to me? And he's like, listen, I can't really explain because none of the men can explain anything, and none of them. So he's like, I'll show you though. So we'll do some show and tell if you trust me. Which, Lilith, why do you agree to this? And then in an effort of trust, he burns holes into her eye sockets, as one does when you're trying to show somebody something.
Exactly.
So that wasn't creepy as fuck.
I mean, that's what I do and I can't see. Just
Yeah, obviously.
find a groomer to burn my eyeball sockets.
Damn, so I can learn the truth. Good grief. And that's
Heavens
that scene.
to Betsy.
Ugh.
So I'm gonna get a little, because we're going to Dr. Beatrice.
No, we have to go to Jillian and Michael first.
Oh fuck! I'm sorry. I try to skip them.
I know. Well, Dr. Beatrice is coming. Take that as you will.
Every time we say Jillian and Michael's, all I can think of is Jillian Michaels.
I know.
So
you guys remember who she is.
So Jillian and Michael are with the Ark. Jillian is like showing Michael the footage that Lilith got when she was on the other side. And that image, if you recall, of a person's face in all of the static from the footage, she's
Count
like,
Chocula.
is Count Chocula? She's like, is this Rhea? And Michael stares at the image and gets all trancy and out of breath and then collapses a little, but she catches him and he's like, I was wrong to doubt. I thought I could change things, but Rhea's way is the only way. What has she got him on?
Okay, I have a question about that. So, obviously, this isn't an Beatrice scene, so I didn't really super pay attention to it the first few times I watched this. But as I was writing my notes, I got to thinking, like, was this body cam recording a message to Michael all along? Because he was already on the other side at that. Like, Rhea sent him back already when Lilith crossed over. Rhea knows everything, so she knows who sent Lilith over with the tech on her. Obviously, that was Jillian, Michael's mother. Was this some kind of like message where she was communicating with him and that's why he froze? Because the reaction is really weird for just like seeing her face.
Exactly.
Like, was she communicating the way Adriel was communicating with people, like the way these people from the other side seemed to be able to like telekinetically telecommunicate with people?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that was actually a message to Michael that only he heard in that moment, like divine influence from Rhea or whatever. Because like he almost collapses. Like it's almost like something's happening to him when he's looking at the image.
It's the only way to explain it, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
That he's receiving a message from that image in some way,
Yeah,
shape, or
almost
form.
like remember your mission, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's reaffirming his crisis of faith, I guess, that he was having, because a lot of characters are having crisis of faith in this season.
Yeah, this is the big crisis of faith season because everything's being questioned.
Yeah, and so Rhea's like, no. You're the last one I have, like, it's doing my bidding. You cannot defect.
You may want to have fun and have like a life and everything, but not it.
Don't. You're my bitch.
You're there for a reason. And now can we go to Dr. Beatrice?
Now
go to
we
Dr.
can-
Beatrice.
Now we can go to Dr. Beatrice. So Dr. B is performing a sonogram on the very obvious cross-shaped scar on Camilla's neck, which like does she not feel that? It's like scars are raised. Does she not like what the why
Questions.
is there
Question.
Come on.
What the heck?
Because like in the earlier scene when Beatrice collides and they collide together, when Camilla's explaining the headache, her hand goes to the scar. So like how does she not felt the scar? It doesn't matter. It's just whatever. Anyway, Dr. B's doing her thing and Camilla's fidgeting because she's having a she's like, the harem betrayed me, I was touched, what is going on? So she's fidgeting because she's having an internal crisis, and B's like, listen, you need to calm down because I'm doing medicine. And Camilla is like, I'm calm. I can be calm. I'm calm. It's fine. And B's like, that's some bullshit. You're a terrible liar. And then we transition from there into Camilla's crisis of faith, where I guess it's beyond just the thing on her, the scar and the infiltrating in her brain kind of thing. She's expressing her own questioning of Christianity, basically her religion at this point. And she's saying things like, it's harder for me to pray, something that obviously centered her. She was a believer in the faith too, the same way Beatrice was. So this is common ground for the two of them, unlike Mary, Ava, those kind of characters in the OCS. And she's seeing too that this whatever is going on is also like affecting Mother Superior, who's like the rock solid, like nothing shakes Mother Superior. And Camilla's like, I even see that it's affecting you, big stoic Dr. Beatrice. And Beatrice is like, yeah, I've had some of these thoughts too. And because she is having an internal crisis of faith, which we've been talking about her feelings for Ava and how that's clouding her judgment and all that stuff. But at this point, Beatrice is not ready to admit that to anyone, potentially even herself, really. And she's like, it's fine. It's everything's fine. And then we bookend that with Camilla being like, yeah, that's some bullshit too, because you're not much of a liar either, which I love. And just shout out to Sheila Wilson, who we also interviewed for this perfect scene with all of its wonderful layers in the dialogue and the double meanings and that little bookend argument that's super, super fun. So everybody at home, hydrate for Sheila and the queer Gizai.
Sheila's amazing.
Sheila is amazing. She's a ball of sunshine, and this dialogue is so, so, so good and so layered, and I love it, love it,
Big
love
chef's kiss.
The biggest. Anyway, Beatrice is not having any of this conversation because she's not ready. She's not ready. And also insists, first of all, Camilla's also like, you're bad at something. And he's like, I'm not bad at anything. What are you talking about? I'm better than you, even at lying. And Camilla like lets that slide. And because she's also frustrated, not just the crisis of faith thing. She's also frustrated that like she can't seem to help people. Like she feels like she's doing a lot, but it's getting her nowhere. And it's just not enough. And so she's feeling bogged down by all of that. And when Camilla starts talking about that, like Beatrice in the scene looks very uncomfortable. And because the layers of this scene. That's exactly what's going on with Beatrice and Ava, and like the fact that she feels like she can't protect Ava because again the heist gone wrong is still in her brain. And then she weirdly projects advice onto Camilla that she should be giving to
Thank you.
herself.
Thank you.
Which is like, it's not your job to fix everyone. Beatrice, take your own prescription, girl. Like, ugh. And then they have some cute dialogue where Beatrice basically like gives her a little pep talk, and she's like, "You've come a long way from being a rookie, and I'm proud of you," kind of thing. And she says the line like, "You, Camilla, you're the best of us, the heart of us," which is so true. And like that's what we've been saying about Camilla since like season 1. She really is like the heart, the glue. Like even though she's like the new one, she holds them together, honestly. And basically the sentiment at the end of that conversation is like, everything's going to be okay. And then what ends the scene is the sonogram read, which is that there's a divinium cross that's wedged into Camilla's spinal cord, which that's so fucked up. That harem woman must have been very angry to like, how do you get something jammed into your spinal cord and not recognize that that's happening? That's wild.
How do you get something jammed into your spinal cord and just be like, no, I haven't had this. There's a headache. No, that is not how that would go.
No, not at all. That was C-spine stuff. You don't get headaches from that.
No, as someone who A, has seen spine surgery, and B, has had spine surgery and back issues in the past, that is not how that works.
So Sheila, in the future, if you're writing and somebody's getting something shoved into their spine, please consult us first. We can let you know how that goes down in terms of symptoms.
Yeah, we love you.
We love you. But top-notch scene, love the dialogue. Fun to see them interacting together because like they need it. They've been in land of miscommunication for quite some time.
Yes, they had to have a talk.
Yeah. Common ground, you know.
Do we have to?
I mean, the first line of this next scene makes me rage. I never should have trusted you. Which, like, fucking duh, Lilith. That's like your whole arc this season.
The problem
Why did you
is
do any of this?
The problem is she doesn't stick with that sentiment.
I know.
Because he
3
creepily
seconds
tells
later.
her to open her eyes. Like he's her A, cult leader, B, lover, C, dad. And I don't like any of it. So she does open her eyes, and when she does, she can see all of the demons that are floating around. And she's like, I see reality.
Jesus Christ. I wonder too if this whole thing, burning of the eyes, the cult leader like behavior from him, is this Simon's take on just like blind faith?
Probably.
You know?
It makes sense. And also, I love that she's like, is this how Ava sees? And he's like, no, you're different from Ava. No, you're better than Ava.
Right. Yeah. He's like, whoa, no. Come to me. Yeah, no, exactly. I love that that's where her mind goes first because there's she still has that jealousy, fake, one-sided rivalry thing with Ava in her brain going on. Because like,
so,
you know,
she sees reality. Whatever. Okay, sure. What you see is the evil that surrounds him. That's my take on it.
Yeah, you see how he does all the things that he's doing. Yes.
By possessing people with demons.
Yeah.
Sweet holy hell. There's not a lot to say about that scene except for ew and what we have already said.
Ew and yeah. So then we, fun times, go back to Camilla and Beatrice, and they're about to have the big talk that they very, very much needed to have, and we needed to hear. So let's get into it. Camilla starts off with Camilla being all sullen, and she's dwelling on the creepy cross that's in her spine that cannot safely be removed because it's wedged into your C-spine. You would be a quadriplegic like Ava. So we can't do that. So she's all upset about it, as she should be. And Dr. B is like, listen, I think we should go get the actual doctor, Jillian, to come look at this. Because she can like interfere with it or block it or disable it. Who knows? Let's go talk to her. And Camilla is like half listening, and she's doing this thing that she keeps doing where she's like chews on her thumbnail when she's like nervous, distracted, inward versus outward. lost in thought kind of thing. And in this moment where Camilla's distracted, B takes the opportunity to apologize and, basically say to Camilla, I'm sorry for blaming you for the failed museum heist as I did and blowing up on you. And, if you need anything else from me, like, just know that I'm here to help you no matter what you need. And then Camilla takes that line and flips it around on Beatrice and becomes the ship captain that we all know and love her for. It is basically like, same goes to you, B, because you obvious something is going on with you. I can see it. Like, I'm here for you. And of course, Beatrice, at being caught in her feels, is like, what? No, I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm fine. There's nothing weird going on here. But ship captain Camilla is like, listen, girl, I see the iceberg. This is about you and Ava. There's obviously something going on there. Like, that's why you yelled at me in the frickin' museum. And Beatrice is full on gay panicking, where she's like, well, no, it's my job to, like, protect the warrior nun and care about the warrior nun. Obviously, that's all of our jobs. That's what the OCS is here for. But as she's gay panicking, you can see, like, the rainbows in her eyes and hear in her voice how, like, affected she is by this as she's, like, rattling off these excuses. And Camilla's like, don't be ashamed, lesbish. It's fine. Like, it's fine. It's all good. And then she delivers probably one of the best lines of the season, where she says, it's easy to fall in love with the warrior nun. It's loving the warrior nun that's the hard part. They're never yours. They never last. And I would love to point out, and Sheila confirmed, this was a line that was supposed to be delivered by Shotgun Mary as a commentary on Mary and Shannon, who were definitely a thing. Thank you, Sheila, for confirming.
Thank you.
Thank you. And after this, I think, and this is the thing that really Beatrice really needed to hear, and you can see it in her face. Like, after this line is delivered to her, her eyes flutter like 100 times because she's processing what Ship Captain Camilla is saying, and it's the quiet part out loud, the thing that she's been keeping to herself, and Camilla just sees right through her, and she's like, that's the thing you're really afraid of, is that this museum heist, her getting taken, the possibility of her fighting Adriel and never coming back from it, which was like something Yasmin was reinforcing at the very beginning of this episode. She's like, basically like, nobody fights Adriel and lives, and Ava's like, whatever, I'm Ava. We're gonna make history. But Beatrice is like, no, that could be a reality that we'd have to face. I may have to let you go and go to your demise, and there's really nothing I can do about it. I'm gonna have to watch it happen. And Beatrice can't handle that. She cannot handle that reality. She's really, really struggling with that piece, and why that piece potentially is affecting her so much because of your gay feels that Camilla is trying to help you and call you out on at the exact same time.
Exactly.
And you can just see the puzzle pieces are starting to slowly slide into place at the end of this scene and just connect at the beginning of the next scene.
Mm-hmm. It's shown on her face clearly when she walks outside to find Ava training with the Crown of Thorns. And you see this expression come on her face. It's like this adoring, slight smile as she watches Ava hover over this statue with the crown. And it's like that moment where she kind of accepts it. She knows that she's in love with Ava.
Yeah.
And that's just how things are. So
yeah. Because, like, think about that moment. That's like, she comes out of the room after just talking to Camilla. So she is processing what Camilla just said to her out loud, and then looks at Ava, and you just see the puzzle pieces like slide into place. Why she's so upset about this. And, like, I think that's the moment where she's like, oh, this is straight up love. Oh shit.
Yes.
Like, it's not just like best friend, I want you in my life thing. It's much more than that. Shit. This is her oh shit moment.
Yeah, this is like flashback to the scene in the bar where they're dancing, and Ava looks at Beatrice and has her moment that is this. But it's then when she's like, oh shit.
Yeah. Can we talk about these are their we can agree that these are their oh shit moments. Can we talk about or just comment on how in character the oh shit moments are?
Oh,
Ava's
absolutely.
is a complete disaster where she's like, oh fuck.
Mhm.
Like and it's just like all like fuck is on her face. Whereas Beatrice is like super graceful and she's like, it's just a smile. She's like, yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
so them. I love it.
sure. That one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
That's
that
the
one.
one I
That's
love.
the one.
That dork that's floating in the air.
That damn dork.
So unfortunately, the Halo chooses that moment to go out, and Ava falls.
Poor Ava. She can't even look cool in front of
I
Beatrice.
know she can't look cool
I
in
know.
front of her
know.
woman.
That's why when Beatrice was like, "Let me help you," she's like, "I'm fine." Like,
Yeah,
she's embarrassed.
but it's also reinforcing the whole Ava isn't infallible. Like Ava's not
Yes,
immortal or anything of that nature. So
absolutely. Dose of
right,
reality.
right
You
in
know.
front of Beatrice's face, Ava falls out of the air and hits the ground. So she runs up and tries to help her, and like you said, Ava is like, "Nah, I don't need it. I don't need your help. I'm good. I'm good." So they talk about why the Halo's doing that, and Ava's like, "I don't fucking know. Like, I just got this thing stuck in my back. How am I supposed to
I
know
just
how
live
this
here.
works?
I don't know.
I just live here and do the bidding of everyone who wants me to save the world. Listen,
Totally.
nobody gave me the fucking manual with the toaster, okay?"
Literally.
So you can tell she's a bit frustrated by this whole, like, this everyone's lives kind of depend on her being able to perform
Totally.
to the fullest abilities using the Halo, and that's not happening. So she's frustrated and she's like, I just need to put this thing on his head. And then she and Beatrice have a little moment where where she's like, we'll beat him
Beatrice says,
together.
"I trust you.
I trust you. And that,
I
I think
trust
that is
you."
huge for Ava as well, because Ava's not trusting herself right now because of
Yes.
what's going on with the Halo. And if Beatrice trusts her, then that's like, Beatrice is her touchstone,
Yes. Yeah.
period.
That's her grounding force.
That's her
Absolutely.
stability.
Yeah, that's her rock.
So there you go.
Yeah, so that means a lot to it means a lot to Ava, and then it means a lot to Beatrice too, because
Mm-hmm.
at this point, she definitely has doubts about herself and her abilities, but it's showing that she doesn't doubt Ava and her
Mm-hmm.
abilities. Like that means a lot to somebody who's like the type A that needs to be in control all the time, to be like, I trust you. I don't trust me. I don't trust anything else right now, but I trust you. Like that means a lot for Beatrice to say, and it means a lot for Ava to hear, like you said. So
Yep.
those two scenes together are fucking amazing.
A lot
Anything
of
else
great
about
scenes.
Beatrice before we unfortunately leave them?
No, let's go.
All right, so we're gonna very quickly jump over to the not hot priest limping around in Adriel's creepy church, which it's pretty fucked up that Adriel is like this big, he can do all these miracles or whatever, and he can't heal his own lackey's knee. That's fucked up, but
Who
whatever.
doesn't care to?
Yeah. Also, the priest deserves it. Fuck that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He deserves worse, honestly. And he encounters creepy Christian, Christian, in that weird church. And he's like, hey, you seem a little unsettled, but like, have some faith, friend. In 2 more days, we're going to deliver the world to Adriel. So that's the big master plan that these creepy assholes are doing. And ew.
Yeah,
Basically, that's
big
it.
ew.
Big ew.
Don't like it. Creepy
Mm-mm.
Christian always just
He's
makes
so
me feel
creepy.
worse. He's even creepier to me than Adriel is when he's
Yes,
grooming Lilith.
he really is. Because he's
That
just got that,
actor.
like, he just has that, like, full believer, just creepiness about it. I don't know another way to describe it.
I
It's
don't
just
know how to. Ugh.
unsettling. Like, the hot priest was unsettled by your presence because you're
Yes,
really
thank
creepy,
you.
dude.
Yeah, if you're
You know?
unsettling the not hot priest, we know that you be
Ew.
Creepmaster 3000.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Gross.
let's go back to Mother Superior and Yasmin.
Yes, let's do that.
in a room full of
Misogynist.
dickheads. Yes.
God.
So the Pope is telling everybody that Adriel's a charlatan, and we've got the Archbishop of Canterbury, who was not 10 seconds ago getting Yasmin all starstruck,
This
is like
motherfucker.
being like, how is it possible that an ordinary man could create all these plagues, et cetera, et cetera? And he's like, if he's an angel, he can invoke the wrath of God if we try to denounce him. Dude, the Pope is like, no, wait a minute. He is using architect technology to manufacture these plagues. Mr. supposed to be my right hand, like Archbishop bro.
We've
But
debunked that with science, thank you.
he's like, I think not, sir. He's using science. And so Archbishop Archbishop's like, well, how do you know this information? Where did you get this info? And my boss over here is like, well, I had an informant. And I'm like, yeah, the guy that you tortured.
Still an informant, whatever.
The informant, one of Adriel's lackeys, gave me the information. And Jesus Christ, this mob boss of a pope.
I know.
I wonder if this happens in the real Vatican.
Right?
So the Archbishop still is not going to listen to the Pope. He is still arguing, but Yasmin has had enough because she cannot stay quiet through this dumbassery.
Thank God, honestly.
I mean, Mother Superior this all the time, so I think she has a bigger tolerance for this
stupidity,
patriarchal bullshit.
Ugh,
but she just breaks in there with like, you're just afraid of losing all of your congregants, and you're afraid of losing power. Like, this is for real. I'm from a Coptic order that's been preparing for Adriel's return for forever. And listen, this is a real thing. Listen to the Pope. He's a devil. He is not an angel. He's a devil. But the Archbishop isn't taking any shit from women today, apparently. And asks the Pope, he's like, why are you letting your women speak to me like this?
Why are the women talking? It's like, dude.
I'm not sad about what's going to happen to him next.
No, me either. I was like, why didn't this happen sooner?
Yeah, he didn't even need to talk, honestly.
No.
But thankfully, Superior interrupts him to come and back up Yasmin. And is like, this is not about protecting the church or ourselves. Adriel is a global threat. So he's threatening everyone in the world, everyone that we're supposed to be protecting. Yes. Under the guise of Christianity and God. So all of God's people are in danger, you idiots. Is basically what she's saying. So then the Pope is like, listen, we have some traitors. They've infiltrated the highest ranks of the church. And unfortunately, Cardinal William
Pepe Le Pew
takes over to pontificate on the fact that no one took Adriel seriously. So at first you think that he's going to back the Pope up and be like, hey, we really need to do something about this. But no. As we know, this bitch is one of Adriel's biggest fans. So
he's a fanboy.
He is a fanboy. He's in love with Adriel. Let's be
literally
real.
Holy fuck, yes.
Christian is he's
second
like almost up there with Christian. I think Christian's a little more in love with Adriel than this guy is.
Oh yeah, he's the president of the fan club for sure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, they fight over who gets to handle the money.
Totally.
But so no one took Adriel seriously, and then he pulls out a knife and sticks it in the archbishop's neck before saying, "Praise Adriel!" like this with his hands up, and it's
every time this man grandstands, it's so annoying.
Stupidly annoying, and just stop. So
Right.
the other followers who are in the conclave also take out their knives, which are stowed under the table. And my question is, why the fuck did no one see that there are knife sheaths connected to the table underneath that people are going to pull out later? Didn't know. I mean, I'm sorry, but if I feel something like under the table, like wouldn't
Yeah,
somebody
like,
have noticed that when they
the fuck's
walked
this?
in?
The fuck's this? I know, right? I don't think, okay, there's a part later where like the gang covered in knives walks right through the front door and nobody does anything. So I don't think
Mhm.
anybody's paying attention to anything in this hotel, and that's maybe why they picked
No.
it. They're like, it's the discretion hotel, you know?
Well, I mean, like the people that are sitting at the table that aren't
Yeah.
followers of Adriel didn't notice the
I mean,
knives.
maybe they're too stuck in their holy thoughts to like notice
Because most of the
reality.
people in this room were Adriel's followers.
That is true.
So there were a lot of knives under that table, is my point. Anyway,
Yes.
no one notices the knives. They take them out, start the bloodbath of stupidity.
Nobody notices the knives until they're in their throats.
Exactly. Oh, jeez.
Jeez.
So Mother Superior is a fucking badass, obviously, and starts fighting her way through Adriel's followers. And one of the Pope's bodyguards actually turns on him, but he stops short of killing him because, you know, it's the Pope and he's the mob boss. So he kind of just starts to run away. But then he runs into Mother Superior and attacks her. Like, I also think that Adriel gave them orders like, don't kill the Pope. The Pope,
Absolutely.
I need him to...
Yep.
I need him
Be
to
legitimate.
legitimize me. So don't kill him. Let him live. Everybody else die. But she defeats the bodyguard and takes his gun. And this is one of my pet peeves with shows. And I'm going to let it go because it's Mother Superior. However, there are not that many bullets in that gun magazine. She shoots so many people with this gun, some of them multiple times. There aren't that many bullets in that magazine.
I'm pretty sure you said this the first time we watched this too, and you're like, God damn it, that magazine! I'm like, are you counting bullets right now?
I did
I'm
count
just
the
celebrating the
bullets.
misandry.
I'm sorry, but it's one of those things that gets me.
I get it.
So I'm like, guys, at least have her like grab a mag off of somebody else. Who knows?
right,
Whatever.
like pick up another gun, yeah.
Yeah, something.
Totes.
So she's shooting and slicing her way because, of course, she has a sword cane. Kaitlyn's crossfade is my bullets. That's a very poetic. It's a very poetic statement.
Mine is gross men grandstanding. This scene, if it had a crossfade, it would be our worst nightmare.
It would be. Anyway, she's being a badass, and Cardinal Asshole, aka William, finds Yasmin under the table and tries to be super creepy and play a game with her with this knife. It's like, he's like, ooh, I get to kill the lady that interrupted them. No, you're fucking creepy and I hate you. Go die.
Although I will say the one thing I do like in this scene is that he solidifies the term of endearment the Pope gives Yasmin, where he calls her the enthusiastic apprentice. So when he's under the table, he's like, oh, the enthusiastic apprentice, which is totally an amazing descriptor for her.
It is.
It's great.
So I just want to point out that before we leave this, there's a shot of dead priests in the form of a cross.
Oh, yeah.
So symbolism. The Mother Superior and the Pope and Yasmin retreat to a gym, which is down the hall. Sure. Okay.
There's something extremely funny to me about the Pope being in a gym, because he's like in there all freaking out, and there's like one of those weird giant blue exercise balls, and it's just like a weird like visual. I love it so much. It just makes me laugh every time. I'm like, what is this scene?
He's like all serious face, and like he almost
and they're
looks
in their
like one
medieval
of those
robes, and there's like a treadmill.
He's got blood all over him.
It's just funny.
Yeah, and it's just like the gym equipment that they're pushing into the door to barricade it, and I'm like, how is that keeping them out?
I don't know.
They're possessed by demons and have demon strength.
They also have bullets.
They're gonna shut through the door. But they don't want to shoot the Pope. They don't want to shoot the Pope.
Maybe that's probably why they're protected. They don't know that though. They don't know that.
Like what the fuck with the bear? Like they could whatever. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go.
I know, just crossfade.
Kaitlynn says they ran out of bullets. Obviously not. These are infinity guns.
Yeah, infinity guns. One thing I wanted to point out during the scene, them escaping, is that when they were escaping in the heat of that moment, Mother Superior yells out to the Pope and says, "Come on, Francesco," and she says it in Spanish. So I'm wondering if he's actually Spanish, because we had this debate, because like it's like, you know, in the heat of the moment you say things in your mother tongue kind of thing, because like that's what comes to mind first versus translating into other languages. So I'm wondering if they're Spanish, and like,
I think, yeah. Like
yeah,
that's, I think
I wonder if that's a
what I
clue
got
and
out
that's
of
why they
it.
were told to do it in Spanish. Should ask
Yeah.
Sheila, damn it. Oh well, it's really not that important, just I didn't
It's not
catch that the
important.
first time.
We could still ask her.
Yeah.
Bring the info. It's exactly right. So there you go.
So anyway, that scene transitions into like a continuous thing where Camilla is still now fidgeting with the scar on her neck that she knows is there, thanks to Dr. B. And she gets a call in her little earpiece from Mother Superior, who's like, listen, Camilla, the shit has hit the fan at the conclave. It's we are trapped now in a gym on the 13th floor. You need to come extract us, like, immediately. So Camilla is like, gone to the rescue. She wants to help people. She's been struggling like that. It's her turn to help people. So she goes and gathers the remaining OCS troops. And we cut back to the other three that are taking a breather in the exercise room. And Mother Superior kind of turns on Francesco, and she's like, "E vero, like, tell me the truth." Because like she's like, "You've been cryptic about this architect Adriel bullshit. Like, what is actually going on?" And he confirms that, like, you know, what he said in there is true, and that he knows that on March 23rd, which I assume is in 2 days, that's the thing that Christian and the knothead priest were referring to. He's like, at the architect headquarters, the Adriel's going to be there with his supporters. So, and he's going to make some big announcement. And he's like, "I was really hoping by having this conclave meeting that I can get my loyalists to help me stop this thing from happening, but a coup just went down instead." So obviously it didn't go according to plan. And he's freaking out. I think this is his kind of like crisis of faith. Like, you can kind of see it on his face. Like, he's covered in blood. He's like, "What the fuck is happening? Like, I've lost all my supporters. I have nothing." But Mother Superior is basically like, "We can still beat him. Like, you know, I'm still here. The OCS is still here." And that's kind of where they leave it. He's just kind of like, "Who's going to help us?" And Mother Superior's like, "Us, we're here. Like, we're still standing, we're still fighting," kind of thing. But I love that it actually ends with him saying, "Who will stand with us now?" which is the perfect transition into the next scene.
Okay. It's real hot. It's real hot.
The
They just
superhero
walk
entrance.
in. They just walk into this hotel. Music in the background is badass. It's Beatrice and Michael
In slow-mo.
in slow-mo. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's hot. What these? Okay, mostly the girls, but
Yeah,
anyway.
I know, Michael's kind of there, but like, it's
Michael's there,
mostly
but
the girls. They're in armor, they've got weapons, and I love the people at the front desk are just like,
oh, who are these
"Oh,
people just walking in here and all
no
these
one calls
like
security."
leathery?
They're
Yeah,
just like, "Oh,
this
is
guy
there a
over
con?"
here. There's only one normally dressed person in this trio, and the other two have like are dressed like rock stars with crosses and shit, and a ninja. What?
Beatrice literally has a sash with knives.
Knives!
Like, and she just walks right in, and they're like, "Okay, sure, why not?"
Sure.
Just another day at the hotel, I guess.
It's not like they shouldn't have heightened security because the Pope's having a conclave upstairs.
I know. I just found this very weird, and I love that. Like, Simon's like, "No, we're gonna superhero entrances, slow it down,
Yeah.
play the music, have them just waltz right in." It was awesome. I loved it, but
Yeah.
you know,
10 out of 10
10 out
on
of
the
10.
hotness scale.
Ooh.
So upstairs, they get upstairs and Beatrice assesses the situation. There is 10 to 12 FBC. They're armed and probably possessed, which Ava confirms because she can see them demons.
She sees the truth.
Same thing that Lilith sees. Anyway,
Yes.
the space is too confined to take them on, so they can't just be running down there and fighting these people. Beatrice the strategist. General Beatrice.
Damn, she's been doing a lot. She was a doctor this episode, a
Mhm.
general.
It's
It was all
it's
good.
a hot time for Beatrice.
She plays so many leadership roles. I
Mhm.
love it. So while that's happening, we have to go back to the lab where Jillian is trying to keep her shit together. And then she
Good luck.
finds a note from Beatrice. So Beatrice is also just like everywhere in this episode.
Mhm.
And it says, Dr. Salvius, something is emanating from the cross, and the cross is underlined. It's Beatrice. And she's so British, I can't. I love that she only refers to her as Dr. Salvius, even in writing. And my question is, how on earth did Beatrice figure out something was emanating from the cross? Like, how did she figure that out?
Is she Dr. Beatrice?
But how did she see it in the sonogram? Because like I couldn't see anything really in the
No.
sonogram. So I have a headcanon that it was Ava that figured it out. And like they were kind of like, I think Ava saw something on the sonogram and was like, oh, that's weird. And then she's like, come on, Bea, let's go. And like didn't think anything of it. And Beatrice was like, this is probably important. I'm gonna leave a note. And like wrote it in the lab and just left it there and went to follow Ava. Maybe when Camilla came to get them, she's like, we gotta do an extraction mission. And Ava's like, that's weird, and then runs away. And Beatrice is like, this is probably important. I should tell somebody who's an adult.
Either that or Ava can see it because of her super halo vision.
Yeah, I definitely think the halo is the I think Ava can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the Dr. Salvius's fancy science glasses, but
yeah.
she
but I'm
does
sure
have
she
a
can
halo.
see that energy. Yeah. You know?
Mm-hmm. Because
Anyway.
she sees the truth.
She sees the truth. Fucking ridiculous. So, anyway, Jillian's reading this tip, and she does some quick maths, and looks at the note, looks at the cross on the spinal cord, and then she leaves the room. And she gets her scientist glasses, like Bree said, and goes and finds Camilla, who's praying. And lo and behold, there's energy emanating from the base of her neck outwardly up into the air as Camilla is deep in prayer. And Jillian finishes the math equation and puts together that the prayers, which is basically praying, is unique electrical brain impulses that are happening when you're deep in focus. Adriel has used those little crosses to harness that energy and is converting it to power the arc. And Camilla gasps, clutches her rosaries, and is like, do you think he's stealing prayers from God? and Jillian looks at her like, I don't want to touch this with a 100-foot pole.
No.
But she's like, maybe, I don't know. Let me get you something to block that. How about we do that instead?
Let's not talk about the whole theology.
Yeah. It gave me the same energy as when Ava's like, wait, does this mean Jesus was also? And Beatrice is like, shut the fuck up. Nope, shut that down. Shut up. Stop talking. Ava, leave it alone. Go. Here's some keys. Play with those.
Ava just looked pretty and
just stand over there and look pretty.
Yeah.
You don't need to talk. But they don't get super far because they hear these two in real time hear a car honking and go outside to check it out. And there's OCS reinforcements finally, and so we get a bunch of badass women dramatically exiting a van that Camilla hugs individually like the little happy puppy that she is. So yay, we have new friends.
Huzzah! Guess what? Ava likes to play games.
She sure does.
You know what game Ava's gonna play? Tag You're It.
Tag You're It.
So Ava back in the hotel with the conclave and the crazy. Ava lures all of those possessed members away from the gym door. William is kind of like, yeah, go catch her. Because, Ava typically is like, I hear Adriel's looking for me. Like, come and catch me if you can. So off she goes and they chase her. There's just two dudes remaining at the door. And then Beatrice and why did I almost just call Michael Charlie? I don't know.
I
Beatrice
don't
and
know.
Michael take out the 2 remaining assholes, and then Beatrice says, "Hey, it's B. We're here. Hallway's clear." So, anyway, Mother Superior gets up and is like, "All right, let's go." And the Pope's like, "Nope, ain't going with you because Adriel needs me to legitimize him. So I'm just going to let them take me." And he's like, "I'll just use this to help show the world, or to tell the truth about him to the world." And then he tells Mother Superior to come back for him, and she promises that she will. And I'm like, no, leave his ass.
Also, this was a stupid plan.
This is the
As
stupidest plan.
obviously they did not go through a global pandemic where
No.
half the population didn't believe it was happening while the other half did. So like if you get up there and be like, "Well, I'll just tell the truth and they'll believe me." That's not how people work.
No, it's really not.
No, they're looking for confirmation of their faith. Adriel is showing them the magic tricks they've read about in the book before their eyes. They're not going to believe your words over the guy showing them real life magic tricks. Like that's not how that works. This was a dumb idea.
Thank you.
Also, I want to point out one fun thing. When Beatrice and Michael are like kicking ass, basically Michael takes one dude and then Beatrice takes the other one. And like Beatrice like hits the dude in the chest and like stuns him. And then Michael comes in and kicks the dude in the face after Beatrice does her thing. And she looks at him like, "What the fuck are you like? I just took care of that. Why did you do that? That was no point to that." And he's just like shrugs at her. And I just love that Beatrice is like constantly just judging him. She's like, "What the fuck has Ava even seen you?" Like, I just love that little moment.
Why are you even here right now?
What are you doing? I just took care of you.
I obviously could have done this by myself. Ava and I could have done this by ourselves.
Yeah. I just
Thank
love it.
you.
She's like, "The fuck are you doing?" Okay, and then other thing that I have a question about, when they're actually leaving, like all of them, so they get Mother Superior and they get the Pope and they get out of there. Yaz got like knifed in the calf or something, and so she's legit like she limps, like the girl like tails it out of there, limping as fast as she can. Why on earth didn't Mother Superior give her her cane?
Good question.
It's like,
I guess because she wanted
faster, you know?
I guess because she wanted the weapon.
But still, I was like, you haven't actually use the cane as a cane, girl. Anyway, I just thought that was funny.
Would have made sense.
Yes. Okay, so then we get to the scene.
Scene TM.
Scene. Spoiler, trigger warning. So, while that's all happening, Ava is still having way too much fun playing Chase Me with the FBC goons and decides to trick them by phasing through a wall, which leads her directly outside 13 stories above the ground. And the rest of the gang makes it outside to spot her flailing in the air because Ava can float but can't fly at this point, I guess, which I don't understand. Or at that time, she's losing control of the halo because someone's turning it off, and she plummets 13 stories straight to the ground. And the first person that gets to her, of course, is a screaming Beatrice. And Beatrice's worst fear starts playing out in real time. So she breaks down, immediately sobbing, and like clutches Ava to her body and basically spouts a bunch of truths while pleading with Ava, God, herself. It's just out loud, her biggest, deepest, darkest truths. And she says, "I know the world is hard and unforgiving, and I know that warrior nuns die, but please don't leave me. Don't leave me. Not don't die because of the mission. Don't die because of the OCS. Don't die because we need you to save the world." She says, "Don't leave me. Like, I don't want you to die." So that's huge because this is Beatrice's "I love you" without saying "I love you." That's what this really, really, really is. Because she frames it as a me and you thing, not a "you're the warrior and the world needs you. You're the hero" thing. And I love this because it's called, again, the dialogue in this episode is very like callbacky. This is callbacky to what she was saying to Camilla. at this point in time, Beatrice is faced with the hardest reality of all. Ava's actively dying. And call back to Camilla, loving the warrior nun is hard because they never last. In this moment, Beatrice is pleading, praying even, which is for Ava to not die, for Ava to stay with her. And that in itself is a form of fighting in the face of that adversity, right? She's fighting for that love that is supposedly impossible, right? That's what Camilla said. Like loving her is going to be the hard part because they're not yours, they don't last. But in this moment, Beatrice is choosing the hard route. She's choosing to love Ava despite that. And the fun part is that the halo is still a hummin', and Ava hears all of this. Like, she's hearing all of this, and it's everything she wanted to know. And of course, she has to, in cheeky Ava fashion, while Beatrice is like sobbing and like laying it all on the line, Ava's like, yeah, I'd also like to avoid dying. That'd be great. Poor Beach is like, oh, what the fuck? You ain't dead? And then we get some gay staring, which is really needed in this moment, I think. And Ava is just looking at Beatrice like she hangs the moon in the sky, even though she literally just fell 13 stories and has to have broken bones and hemorrhaging organs. She's like, all she can focus on is Beatrice, which...
And what Beatrice said.
Yes. Yes. Because in her brain, Ava's like, she likes me, she likes me. She likes me, even though she's like,
for her to admit it, but she likes me.
Yeah, I should fall out of buildings more often. Yeah, like that's literally Ava's brain because she's so excited you can see it on her face. And Beatrice is just like, oh, thank God you're not dead, and tries to like hug her again, but pain, lots of it. And Ava's like, okay, maybe let's not do that. We'll just gay stare for a little while. But she like, I love that she reassures Beatrice. She's like, no, it's fine. Like, she's like, I want to hug you. I'm just actively dying right now. But it's fine though, you know, it's cool.
No, I like the hug. It's just like, not a second. Can we do it later?
Like, my spleen has to heal first. Give me a second. And then Ava says the line, like, they can't beat us not together, which I think is a full circle thing too of earlier when the whole them being successful was really contingent on Ava. And Beatrice said, like, I trust you to get this done. It's like an Ariella thing where it's like, no, it's kind of an us thing, not a one person thing. So it's, yeah. So I love that. And like, they're solidifying, Ava's saying like, we're a team, you and me. And Beatrice is like, yeah, I know we're a good team. And then they go in for another hug that looked like a kiss that had us all fucking screaming the first time we saw it. You're so close, guys. You're so close.
I gotta like the way that Ava turns her face in.
Damn girl.
And like her nose grazes Beatrice.
Yes. God damn it. Just kiss her. God damn it.
Here we are.
We are robbed. We are robbed. Okay, but there's more. Do you have anything to say about what we just talked about before I just jump into the last part?
Yes, I need to back up though.
Please,
before Ava
do it. Do it.
I have to give credit to Cardinal Jackass because, you know, they're chasing Ava down this hallway.
Oh, yeah. He grabs the brain cell.
They're running, and like she's so far ahead. Obviously, they're not going to catch her because A, she's fast because Halo, and B, like she has the power to get the fuck wherever she wants because she can phase through shit. And finally, he's like, "Okay, just shoot her already."
You guys have guns. They're so stupid.
So why does he have to have the brain cell? Anyway, moving on. That's all. My comment on that. My comment on the Avatrice stuff is, I really think that whole like tucking her face into Beatrice's neck was a total Alba thing.
Yeah, I think that was an acting choice for sure.
It was an acting choice. So love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. But God damn it, ma'am. You thought we were gonna get kissed. You tricked us all. Yes. So last part of this that I kind of wanted to pick apart a little bit is when Ava goes in for like the neck nuzzle hug thing. the camera pans out, and then we see Beatrice's reaction to hugging a living Ava. And what you'd expect to see pass over her face is relief, because when she realizes Ava's alive, like, you hear the relief in her voice. And then when she's hugging Ava, that's not what you see on her face. Instead, what passes across her face is this look of devastation, which I thought was really weird the first time I watched it, but then I kind of thought about it. And I think there's something really monumental happening for Beatrice in this moment. So let's think about this. Beatrice just lived through her worst fear, the thing that's been plaguing her the entire season. She was just cradling Ava's bloodied, lifeless body. That just happened. She just had dead Ava, right? And she's been so focused on keeping Ava from dying. And the moment she was supposed to die, according to everybody else, was battling Adriel. That was the thing she was trying to like put off, but she's like, we got to keep training. You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. All that stuff. But that's not what happened. Instead, Ava died on just a regular mission. They were just extracting people from a building, and boom, Ava died. Adriel wasn't even there. And so I think this is an acceptance, and you said it earlier, that like Ava's isn't, she's not immortal. She can die. And I think that this is an acceptance for Beatrice that Ava isn't as untouchable as she thinks she is. And she cannot protect her from everything all the time. Even on routine missions, she can lose Ava at any moment. Like, she can lose her in any moment, And when she does, Beatrice always thought she'd be completely devastated. And she is in this moment. Like, you see it, a complete wreck. Like, she started sobbing immediately. Like, she started praying her deepest, darkest fears immediately. That was a minute ago, right? And it's a complete loss of control for Beatrice, who's the type of person that needs to be in control all the time. But when it comes to Ava, she's not. And at this point, Beatrice doesn't have the strength to fight those intense feelings that throw her into a state of being completely uncontrolled. And so I think this sad look that passes across her face while she's holding Ava's living body is a loss of innocence moment for Beatrice. Like, she can't live in the theoretical that like one day Ava might die. Ava just died a minute ago. Like, she now knows what that losing Ava actually feels like. She was just feeling it. She's probably still feeling it now, and it's kind of shaking her. And that's really scary. And like, that's what Camilla said. Like, that's the worst thing that can happen. Like, they don't last. Like, this isn't gonna end well for you. Like, if you continue to love her, is basically kind of what that she's saying. Beatrice is somebody who watched Mary go through this, who watched the shell of a person Mary became when Shannon died. And Beatrice is like, that could be me, and that was going to be me a minute ago. But what you love about Beatrice is that she does choose to love Ava despite all of that, despite knowing what that's going to feel like, despite knowing the mess she's going to be when Ava gets killed. Like, she still chooses to do it anyway, and she chooses to do the hard part, which is loving Ava despite that. So that's a big moment for Beatrice, really. And I think that's a big turning point, and kind of helps form what happens later with Beatrice, and how her behavior kind of like 180s a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely is a pivotal moment for her and her acceptance of how she
Reality.
feels
Yeah.
and reality.
Yeah.
She
That's a
didn't,
lot.
honestly, Beatrice knows that she doesn't actually have a choice. Like, you love who you love, period.
Yeah. But like, that kind of reality, it's one thing to theoretically think about it, and it's another thing to experience it. And it's like, she's at the point where she experienced the worst. And it's like, having to process that is just
a lot, and
she still hurts. Like, it hurts. Like, I think that's
it
why it's such a
does.
painful look.
It
It's not like
does.
relief she's okay. Like, it's just like, she just died. That's what her face is saying.
She
Like,
just
wow, she just
died,
died.
and the odds are not in our favor for the
Yeah.
future of for that either.
Yeah. If she keeps fighting, she might die. I think that's what really, that reality is what kind of dictates Beatrice going forward.
And it makes me think that Beatrice probably had some of those thoughts that would be very not like Beatrice in behavior. Like, can we just run away and go back to Switzerland? But
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. I think this moment really dictates that conversation later
mhm,
because she's like, you need to escape and not be in this position anymore
mhm,
because I can't handle you dying. It's basically kind of like
yep.
it's a way of Beatrice to protect not just Ava but herself from the devastation she just felt when Ava just died in the scene.
It's easier to do that than to
Do it all over
eh,
again. For
do it
real.
all over again. And also, there's the whole duty, whatnot.
I think that gets
Yeah,
less important for
it
Beatrice
does
though, the
get less
duty. It's an
important.
excuse
Yeah,
for the feelings, the feels,
believe me, I'm familiar with those.
the feels.
So,
Mm.
yeah, I love that scene because it's so much in a short scene. And
They could have had a
I
kiss.
just,
Damn it, Alba. Your
I'm glad.
trickery.
Anyway,
Whatever. We got Beatrice's oh shit moment, so all is well.
worth it.
Yep.
So unfortunately, this episode doesn't end on Beatrice.
I know.
We have to go back to William, the ass, and
Unfortunately.
the Pope. So the Pope lets himself get captured, and William, because he's a theatrical little bitch, is like,
He is. He is. Best description.
"Forgive me, Father, for you have sinned." And I'm like, "Really? That's
God.
all you came up with?"
How
That
long
is
has this bitch been waiting to say something stupid like
a
that? Like, let's be.
long
I
ass
know.
time. He practices in the mirror.
Ugh. His fucking
He like
Bible
holds he
insults.
has his Bible in one arm and he holds up his why is my brain? You know, he holds up his
Rosaries.
rosary in the other
Yeah.
and uses it as a microphone. Anyway,
Okay.
catch him every week. Anyway, the Pope is just gonna lets them lead him away, and then we go back to Lilith, who's seeing all the demons swirling around,
She's seeing
and
the
that's
truth.
when she's seeing the truth, and that's when she asks, "Is this how Ava sees?" And he's like, "No, no, no, no. This is how you see. Only you. You're not changing. You're purifying."
Ew! That line.
Ugh.
Ew.
Mm.
Oh my god, gross. The most grooming
Before
line.
can
Ugh. Ew.
this is the second time in our day that this has come up.
I know.
Purifying women.
I'm getting
For
flashbacks. Oh god, I know. Why? Gross. Men are
purifying
gross.
women. Men.
Purifying women.
Anyway,
Patriarchy.
that is the creepiest, most awful shit ever. And he's like, "We will walk the path together, creating a new existence where true power will be shared by everyone." I don't think so, bitch. You are obviously not that kind of person. You like all the power. You want all the power for yourself, and you're just lying about this. Like every other asshole that's tried to take power in the world.
Yeah, and he's just making her Ariella 2.0.
Yeah.
Because this is probably the same shit he said to her. Let's be honest.
It is. For real. He's not going to change up his spiel. This is the same shit 1,000 years later or however long.
Totally.
So this is when it gets like, you know, those when you're watching a horror movie and the person who's about to get killed runs up the stairs. This is one of those moments because
oh my god, yes.
Reaches out and touches his cheek, and I'm like, "Not up the stairs, Lilith!"
It keeps getting worse. The call's coming from inside the house.
Yes, Lilith, run.
God.
Anyway.
Ew.
He's doing exactly what he did to Ariella. She touches his cheek, then she sprouts these big black wings. Like, where the fuck did that come from? Anybody? Anybody.
Why was that delayed? Why was that a delayed process? That was so weird.
Was that something to do with what he did to her eyeballs? Is he changing her inside as well? Is he... the only thing I can think of is that he is not... that this process has been taking place slowly and he sped it up.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's what I think. I agree with you. He sped up what Rhea had envisioned for her all along. Somehow.
Exactly.
I don't know. But yeah.
However, I don't like it. So
I will say,
as
I like the wings because
the wings are cool.
they hide what's about to go down.
Yes. Now, I will say that I don't like the look on her face when the wings sprout because it looks too symbolic of
Uh,
something else.
yes, I was gonna let that slide, but here we are. Yep, and
No, I'm not letting it slide. I'm not letting it slide.
the subtitles say moaning, so here we are. Gross.
Ew. He touched
So
her
much
inside
ew.
and made her
I
have wings, and it's so gross.
Oh, it's
Why are we
disgusting.
here?
I don't know. Who asked for this? Sheila, who asked for
No,
this?
Sheila, what the heck?
Why did you do this to us?
You're paying for my therapy bill.
Literally.
Oh my god. Anyway, this is where we do appreciate the wings because as she is embracing him, the wings fold around their bodies and they kiss, and I'm
It
just like,
hides the heterosexuality, which I'm here for, especially the weird age gap, angel and child kissing that's happening, and it's gross on so many levels. Because apparently he does this all the time. This is what happened with Ariella. So serial child groomer, angel. I hate it here.
fuck that guy. Not literally.
No. Ugh.
It's so I just why just we had
I
to go from that Beatrice. Okay,
I-
if you're gonna make us watch this bullshit,
Yeah.
we needed them to kiss before this to balance it
That's what I'm
out.
saying. Alba was probably trying to rectify what the hell was the rest of this script, and then was like, "Damn it!" Director said no. Who directed this? Who do we gotta send the hate mail to?
And I have to say that we're not hating on the writing of,
No, not at all.
of that scene. It's really well done. It's just that we hate what happened in the scene so much that it's creepy
Yes.
and we don't like it.
Agreed. I just get groomer vibes from him the whole time when he's with Lilith because the age gap is so huge, and he's done this before. Like, this is the playbook with Ariella, who is like probably a similar age, and it's just who knows what this is an infinite being with a teenager. There's something inherently wrong about that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Sheila,
Speaking
I
of
love
Jesus,
you,
though.
but how many okay, so this episode is over now, obviously,
It sure
because
is.
I kind
That was
of
the
wish
end.
that I could unsee that last part, but we have to ascertain how many shots for pansexual Jesus, how many lemon drops for pan Jesus we're gonna do on this episode.
How many shots for the Jesus? Let's see. I would give this one 7 because of. Ooh, did you pick that too?
You read my mind. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So lemon drop shots for the Jesus. I would give it 7 because all the Beatrice stuff, honestly. This was her like. I was like coming to Jesus moment
I know.
about
I
her
was
feeling.
just thinking it. I was thinking it.
So her coming to lesbian Jesus moment about Ava, and she says it out. She says things out loud that she's been bottling up about all of that. The way Ava looks at Beatrice after she felt 13 stories deserves like 5 shots in and of itself because it's
Thank
just
you.
like it's like Beatrice's sunshine. Basically.
Beatrice is her angel. Oh my god.
Yes, no, absolutely. That's literally what that was. That was adorable. Yeah, and then I'll forget about all the rest of the stuff that happened this episode. That was really the key. And like her like also like the stuff with Camilla was really good. Like them clearing the air finally needed to happen.
Figuring out what the hell that thing is in her spine.
Yeah, and then the slow-mo superhero entrance of them looking really hot was great. There's a lot of really good moments. I wish there was more of them because greedy. But their moments were all really, really great this episode.
We are greedy little queer ladies, and we want all of the wonderful moments.
We sure do. So love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Yes. So
yes.
What a ride. Thank you, Sheila, for the writing. Thank you.
Yes.
Simon, for making this possible. And thank you for coming along with us on this episode. And
Yeah.
we'll see you next time
for episode 6.
Yes. Goodbye.
Bye. And with that, we've been Big Gay Energy. If you like this episode, check out all our other episodes right here on YouTube. Please like, leave a comment below, and subscribe for more amazing, super gay content.
If you'd like to support us, check out our merch store, or join our Patreon for early access to episodes, exclusive content, and so much more.
Until next time, stay safe and hydrate for lesbian Jesus.